Fear and competition can be your best friend.
Season 3 of the Little Bricks podcast is back. We've got some amazing guests. Can't wait for you to see them. We're going to be speaking mental health, addiction, recovery, sales, business, sports, all sorts of topics. Distraction kills dreams. With the people you spend time with, you will become. Tough times don't ever last, but tough people do. I cannot wait to share it with you.
This week's episode of the Little Bricks podcast is sponsored by Bespoke Financial Group, the UK's #1 life insurance broker, helping protect your little bricks too.
Hi Vic.
Hello.
How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
God bless. So thank you for doing this. Tell us who you are, what you do.
How exciting.
I know. Who are you and what you do?
So I am Vicky Jefferies, Proposition Director in Primis. So I look after all the lender and provider relationships, and I do all the negotiating on behalf of our brokers and make sure that the panel meets all our regulatory requirements, which is the less exciting part.
Cue all the inbox of advisors wanting more commission and better providers. And
I also look after our events programme in Primis as well, which, as we know, is a phenomenal beast in its own right, isn't it?
Bless you. And listen, you're doing a wonderful job too.
Thank you.
With that in mind, we've got the Super Bowl, the WrestleMania, the Champions League final coming up of our industry, the Vox.
Yeah.
What's your favourite Vox memory?
Do you know what? I think I have this every single year.
Yeah.
Every time somebody gets up and walks that red carpet, I get goosebumps and I get the tears in my eyes. It's the music, it's the atmosphere, it's having a room full of 550 of your colleagues standing up and applauding you. There can honestly be nothing greater for a broker. And I always get that like goosey sort of emotional moment. So it happens to me every year, and I'm normally an absolute wreck because I do get very emotional.
I think we all do, don't we? We all do. Big family. Why Primis?
So this is probably a controversial answer. In terms of why am I in Primis, or why should a broker come to Primis?
Well, we'll go you first. I know you, and not just because you're my mate. You're very good at your job. You could go anywhere, I imagine. Why Primis?
So I think just to take a step back, right, genuinely, nobody sits at the careers office and says, I want to work in financial services. That sounds exciting. Let's face facts. We all had probably other ideas of what we wanted to be when we was growing up, right?
Yeah.
I fell into financial services when I was 19, like a lot of people did, and actually just found that it was a good place for me career-wise to progress, and there's lots of elements that I found suited my skill set.
Okay.
I came into Primis through the PTFS acquisition, and I must admit at the time I thought, I'm not sure if I'm going to last, because you can imagine new businesses coming together. We all go through that sort of bit where we worry, don't we? But for me, working with the people that I work with, so Tony, John, Rich, I kind of knew early on that this was something different. This wasn't just a job. These were people, friendships, and actually, like, I feel my contribution to the business feels like how I'd work if it was like my own family business. And I take it like my own. I'd make decisions like I would if it was my own profit and loss in a business. And I think, you know, I'm in it, I'm emotionally invested in it, which I think is actually very true of a lot of our senior leaders in the business. We feel an emotional connection as well as getting paid every month.
Bonus,
No, it's great. And I genuinely think that's the same for the brokers as well. That, you know, obviously those initial conversations, it can be a commercial decision or something that they've seen on social. But when you get into the business, it does also have that family social thing, doesn't it? It's a big part of what we do.
100%. I totally agree with you. It really, really does. What was your favourite band as a kid? Who was your favourite band?
Oh, Take That. I'm a massive Take That fan.
Favourite member?
Well, it used to be Howard, but as most of us ladies have got older and mellowed, I'm more on the Gary Barlow page now.
Oh, who's your favourite band now?
Still Take That.
Can we get them at the Vox?
Well, this is the bit. I just don't think I could cope if they were actually there. I'd be useless at my job. And, it probably wouldn't work. But yeah, they're probably a little bit out of reach these days, aren't they? But
Favorite takeaway?
ooh, probably fish and chips. I'm a traditional girl, Lee. I love a traditional meal. I mean, I'd rather have it by the seaside, but fish and chips on a Friday night at home suits me.
There we go. Have you ever tried a Parmo?
No,
What?
I've never had a Parmo.
Coming soon. Coming very soon. Who's your favourite bespoke female?
Oh, Michelle.
Yo.
Yeah,
Who
definitely.
is your female inspiration?
In a work environment, it has to be Tony, 100%. I just think she's brilliant.
Yeah.
On a wider scale, I mean, I'm a huge fan of people like Michelle Obama and just people that are just, I mean, I love Kate Middleton. I don't know if that's supposed to say that because not everyone's a royalist, are they? But I just like women that are classy and yet still strong and always do the right thing, but equally get their point across is a good way of doing it, I think.
Totally agree. What do you love about our industry and what would you change?
What I love is I like the fact that the jobs that we do as advisors is that we do change people's lives. So whether that be we get them in the home that they want to live in, or we protect them and we cover them if the worst happens. Like I seriously, and I say this to advisors all the time, you don't realise how important your job is in society. It's a really pivotal, important role. So that's the thing I love the most. And I do wish people would elevate themselves more into that position and see the societal benefit that role has. So that's the one thing. The thing that I would like to change is I still think there's a lot of elements of our sector that are quite old-fashioned and need modernising. And I think I often get quite frustrated because I want people to move forward and I want us to have all elements of the things we do in the right modern environment. That's controversial, isn't it? But people know like that.
Well, girls, men, girls suits. I totally agree with you. I think that naturally, although we've got some wonderful experience, we do at Primis, some of the best and some leaders who I've got total love and admiration and respect for. Money runs up, bullshit runs down. There's too much of a disconnect from actually being on the shop floor to really know what's relevant and what isn't, and change is imminent.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. And there's some real positives that have happened, but I think we're a bit the same, aren't we, Lee? We want things at the fastest pace that we're working at, and it's not always like that, is it?
No, I get you. But then again, is there anything wrong with that? Because we're in like what I would class or deem as an Amazon society. Amazon have changed the world. Yeah. You can go online. We used to go shopping. Remember, with your grandparents, and you go butchers, bakers, Blockbuster, fishmongers, fruit and veg. Then you started going to supermarkets. That was the evolution. Now you go on your phone. You can get a dress delivered the same day.
I know.
You got to be fast. Speed kills.
Yeah, definitely.
Who's your childhood crush?
My childhood crush?
Yeah.
I was quite into Jason Donovan for a while. Like I had a lot of posters of him. Yeah. When he had that bad mullet as well. So that's probably not good, is it?
Good, no. Although I would swap a bald head for a mullet anyway. What about if your children come to you and said, I think I want to be a broker? Would you encourage or? Mm-mm.
So this is really funny because obviously my children are 14 and 9 and they had a lot of time spent homeschooling. Well, i.e. they were in the room next door while I was working here. I didn't help them at all. And my eldest, who's 14, has literally heard every meeting. So she knows all the people in the industry. She knows all the conversations. She's listened to the lot. Yeah. I don't think she's ever going to want to come and work in our industry. But to be fair, I think, if either of them did, I would absolutely encourage it. I think it's a brilliant place to start out, even if it's not for the long term, it's a great grounding just to get some basic fundamentals of how life works, how to deal with customers, how to give good service. So,
I think this industry puts under a magnifying glass all your frailties and all your strengths.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. Who's the best you've ever worked with? on a closed basis?
Ooh. I mean, I know this sounds really cheesy, but I'm going to have to say Tony again. And, she genuinely is the best.
She is.
She just general all-round support and, I've learned a lot from her, a hell of a lot from her. And I really, really respect her.
I respect her. I would do anything for her or Richard. You get off some calls with Richard and Tony. I think they individually have different strengths. They complement each other really well. Some one-to-ones I get off, and not in a way where it demotivates me, Vicky. I hope you don't get this. But I get off some calls thinking I've got a long way to go to reach that level.
Yeah.
I'm quite motivated by it. That makes sense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I think, the one thing that I really respect Tony for is she'll have the difficult conversations so that I can understand where I need to improve myself, which, is just what you need, isn't it? If you're keen to get on, which I am, I always want to improve.
Yeah. What about giving yourself from 5 years ago? Or anyone, actually, no, scrap you 5 years ago because you've done amazing. We're going to go people new to the industry, particularly females. What advice would you give them to succeed?
So I've said this before and I'll say it again, is like I feel that a lot of women lack a lot of confidence in our industry. So the first thing is if you're a woman and you want to get on, just say yes and worry about it after. So don't worry and talk yourself out of it. Just say yes and make it work, because inevitably you will. And actually it's okay if you mess it up, because that's how we all get better. You've got to learn by your mistakes. So confidence and saying yes is a big, big thing. Also, just most importantly, is just be yourself. I spent a lot of time in my 20s trying to establish myself in a career, trying to pretend to be something that I'm not. So trying to disguise my Brummie accent, trying to dress in a certain way, speak in a certain way, behave in a certain way. And actually, it's much better to just be yourself, and then you can be true to yourself. And not everybody's going to like you, but, hopefully if you've got the right mindset, enough people will like you for you to achieve what you want to achieve.
Super. Primis in 5 years' time?
Wow. God, it's going to be, we're all invested in it. We've got so many aspirations to grow the business, and it is going to happen. I mean, the last 5 years has been phenomenal, but you've not seen anything yet. It's going to be out of this world, and still maintaining that special place that it is, though, I think is important to keep us true to our culture and our values.
People and values, yeah, I agree.
Yeah. But growth. World domination, as Rich would say.
Dominate, don't compete.
Yeah.
What's key to that?
So the people are really important, and having a good core team, and also attracting more talent from the industry into the business. So we've had a lot of key hires that have come from competitors into LSL, which is obviously really important. So having the right talent to lead the business. But the other part of it as well is just attracting more brokers and helping our firms to grow as well. So getting more firms in, but also nurturing the firms that we've got in to recruit more and bring more people into the industry and get more advisors, writing more business and helping more customers, because that's really what we all want to do, isn't it?
Really is. Vic, you've been amazing. I'm so grateful for your time. I really enjoyed that. It was good.
Oh, bless you, Lee. Thank you. It wasn't too bad. I thought you were going to interrogate me more.
I've got some more questions now. You know what? The final bit I was waiting for, I've got written down. The laugh, your trademark. Brilliant. Keep doing it more. It's infectious.
Yeah, I think some people find it really annoying, but as I said before, I'm just myself, aren't I?
Yeah, fuck them. Doesn't matter. Anyway, thank you so much to my very good friend, PJ. Thank you. God bless. Bye.
Join the award-winning team at Bespoke Financial, where you get free training in your own time.